Hello everyone, and welcome to another LEGO Transformers video. Today I'm covering my build of tesarus from IDW, but this isn't specifically the IDW version, but it is the first member of my new DJD build series. So have this guy, then this isn't in the exact order: Kaon, Helix, Tarn. I feel like I've forgotten. Oh yeah, and Voss. I was about to say I felt like I forgot someone. I might do Nickel and Sparky Chewer, not Spark Chewer, Sparky afterwards, but I don't know if I'll bother with those two. I want to focus on like the core torture people. So his alt mode here, similar to IDW, is a grinding platform, although it's not just like a weird long thing with a grinder in it and treads. This is not a mobile like vehicle. It is a station with a grinder, little arms to grab, and a nice addition of a nice tool, gallows. That's basically what he is. He's a gallows. So right now in here we've got Drag Strip, who's just been dragged out of the grinder. That's why the legs are missing. That's why she is just a torso and arms. But then of course you can shimmy hung by the neck. These big mechanical arms can move away. And then, of course, you can just take her out of that. And it is literally a noose. It only works on smaller characters like Dragstrip, though. Larger characters like someone like Megatron, or like even slightly larger characters than like Stunticons, or even larger Stunticons, really. Like, there are a lot of big characters that won't work on, like with the noose, but you could still have him pull them into the grinder. As long as their torso can somewhat fit in there without the legs, then you're fine. And a lot of my designs have quite thin waists, so you can have it look like they're being fed in. Anyway, just give him a little spin here. You can kind of see what he's about. You can kind of basically see how this transformation is going to work looking at the back. But anyway, and there's a better look at the... Actually, we get a better look at the grinder in the robot mode, since it is in his chest. So we'll get to transforming him. So first, I'm going to open his fingers. And I'm just going to take away... For now, I'm going to take away the guillotine. Not the guillotine, the gallows. Although a guillotine would make an awesome thing. It's an optional parts for him, because you can just fold the hands, put the hands into fists, fold them away, and just have this grinding platform. But I like the extra thing. I'm going to move him back for now. We're going to take this, untab these chains, tab them up here. Sorry about the noise in the background. I feel so unprofessional every time I record, and then I remember I don't really care. And then we're just going to clip that on. Got to record when I get the time, you know. That will be his... You can kind of see it as a gun. That's kind of how I use it, but it also just stows on his back, so it's not a big deal. It's going to chuck it off to a side. Then actual transformation wise, we're going to start by just doing that to separate the legs, which is the bulk of the transformation done. He's very simple, and then we're just going to bring his hands up like that. There we go. And then just going to spin him round, twist his legs into place, and then we're just going to stand him up, hold these away, bring his arms into place. That is not going to focus at all, is it? No, because he's way too close. And even though I've got my light thingy down, he is fully just glowing at this point. We're then going to just take the head, spin it around, and you can pose these claws however you want, or alternatively, they can just go over his back. Like that. But there is tesarus in his robot mode. Yeah, it's a quick transformation. It was like 4 minutes to cover this thing. This is going to be quite a quick video, which is funny because He is my biggest individual bot currently built. Obviously, I have built, like, Blaster was a similar scale to him. This is actually using, if you recognize these arms and, like, the thighs and stuff, and even, to an extent, most of the leg build. I mean, the arms as well, really, as a whole. This is built off of Blaster's frame somewhat. Hell, this entire lower body section is just some color swaps of Blaster. And then it's just a new torso, new head, obviously, which I'm really happy with the head. And then, like, the claws and everything, spikier hands, and all this tan. The character is majority tan, like, normally in IDW, but then he also has these huge, like, stupid-looking panels just hanging off his shoulders. So I minimized those to just being, like, he's got that around his sides. I have also mimicked the treads by just having these black sections in his shoulders and legs and stuff to mimic the fact that he normally has the treads there. I also just kind of like the look of it. And then, of course, with this being either his gun or whatever you want to do with it, it can just stud into a 4-stud slot on the back of him. But to show off his scale, I'll bring in, not a member of the DJD, but, because again, he's the only one I currently have built. He's not a big bot. Okay, we'll just start with, like, Scourge. So, first size comparison here is Terracon's Scourge. It's kind of the standard scale of my bots, so you can kind of see what we're working with. We'll take him out. And oh yeah, we'll get a smaller bot, why not? We'll show him off next to a smaller bot by bringing in Bumblebee. You can kind of see, like, the sort of sizing of this guy. He's very chunky. And the figure that was his victim a second ago, with her legs now attached again. There he is next to Dragstrip. Then, of course, with Dragstrip, let's just unclip both of her legs. And then I can do this again where, like, you have a pose against the Grinder. The Grinder was quite a fun build. So, the way I used to get a lot of my ball joints and things, like the mini ones, was buying, like, the Marvel mechs. Obviously, now, they don't use the as many mini ball joints, and they're just kind of shit. Like, they use those stupid big arm pieces from Ninjago that I absolutely hate. I'm sure there's a use for them, but, like, they got rid of a really nice, cheap way to get a bunch of these joints real quick. So now I just kind of have to order the parts. But because I was buying a lot of, like, them for, like, nice shapes and joints, I bought a lot of the Wolverine ones, which is actually kind of what made me like, oh yeah, I can definitely build this guy. So for starters, the Grinder is built using a bunch of Wolverine claws to circle it, and also the printed X-Men tile to get the mask that he wears of, like, the X. Of course, it's got the Decepticon logo there. But, you're getting into posability. Actually the same as my old blasters. So if you've seen that, you've seen this guy. Shoulder is a ball joint, but he can't really put his arm out. That's as far as it goes. Ball joint at the elbow, so you can swivel it all the way around. You can bend it either way. Hand has individual fingers that are just hinge. And a ball joint at the fist. He's slowly toppling over because really he should have ratchet joints, but the ball joints hold him up fine. But, like, he gets heavy at times. I'm going to just pop this off his back for now to make it easier. Other arm is obviously the same. He's got a bit of a waist swivel. That's as much as it can go, though. Because it clashes on the sides there. I'm sure if you built that slightly differently, you can get a full 360. Ball joint at the knee and at the waist. They like the top of the thigh. But you only get a 90-degree bend out of the knees. And you can bend it forward if you want to make him look like he's in extreme pain. No foot articulation, similar to my usual builds, just kind of a solid unit with the lower leg. And then these are superposable. When you look at them, they are all just ball joints going all the way through these. And then the claws have regular hinges at the base, and then a ball joint, like knuckle, to give them a way to grab figures. And they also have studs on them to make it a bit easier on grabbing smaller characters. They can also help him hold up his gun, which you'd basically just peg into his hand if you wanted. I prefer to just leave it on his back, because I don't think Tesarus really needs a gun, personally. I prefer the idea that he just has this on his back. When he decides to carry it, he usually doesn't carry it or something. And then, if he wants to kill someone, he's doing it with the grinder in his chest. Anyway, basically just kind of use these studs on a figure to just kind of grip them. And then once you've got him grabbed, you just kind of got to pose him and move it in to get him to just be in the grinder. Of course, part of the spoiler is just broken off her back. And then when she's in the grinder, I like to use her because of her head posability. So we can have her sort of looking out and screaming in pain or whatever. Saying that so fucking casually. But put him back there, and then kind of see what he's like when he's claiming a victim with the big old grinder in his chest. If it would focus, of course, which it's not going to do. But yeah, that has been my video on tesarus. Big old grindy murdery boy. Grindy not in a sexual way, he literally just has like... There is not bad it says, it's like, oh yeah, he grinds people up, and that's like, oh yeah, that sounds violent, and then it's like, oh yeah, he's a grinder, and that's like, that just sounds weird. At least it might just sound weird to me, because like, I'm weird, but like, whatever. I'm probably like the only person as well that's like, built tesarus and made videos, so you know what, because like, no one else seems to build the DJD, if you build LEGO Transformers yourself, have a go with the DJD, like, any member... Whatever, probably not Tarn, like, I'm gonna build Tarn, obviously, to finish him, but, like, I feel like the only issue I have with Tarn is everyone focuses on Tarn when it comes to the DJD, and it's like, the other members are so much cooler. Like, Tarn is kind of a cringy edgelord to me, whereas the other members just seem cool. Like, this guy doesn't grind people to bits because it's what he chose to do. His ult mode just happens to be that, so he just uses it to his advantage for torture. Tarn's just kind of like, oh... I just like making people scream and seeing people in pain, and oh, Megatron has a fusion cannon, so I have a double one, and it's like, shut up, get out of here. This has been tesarus. I feel like my next video will probably be Kaon, because Kaon's one that I really like, and I want to get him built, because, like, electric chair. But, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video, which... will hopefully be eventually not too far away. Bye!